to the Noya Mountain Music Teaching Channel. My name is Christopher Henry, and today we're going to be looking at demystifying some double stops. All right, so this is kind of like, for beginners, maybe some intermediate, lower level, intermediate pickers too. So, the double stops are really the key that allows us to progress from playing, down here to up here. So you're basically playing in harmony with yourself, okay? So and this is just going to be kind of a little bit all over the place here and there. Just going to be shooting from the hip, so to speak. Stream of consciousness style teaching, and so give what you can, and you can always go back and review the video and stop stuff, work stuff out where you need to. So what is the idea with what's going on with these double stops? Okay, so generally you're going to have your melody note on the bottom, and you're going to have the next arpeggio note up in whatever key, whatever chord you're in, on top. All right. So we're just going to kind of focus on some basic ones. One of the ones that I think is the most important is to be able to go from the bottom 51, and if you haven't checked out the double stop number system video, please check that out. How does this work? Okay, so in the key of G, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's the fifth note in the G scale. So we got that on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that's our bottom note there. Okay, that's a 5, all right. And if we keep going up scale, 5, 6, 7, 8, the eighth note is the same as the first note. That's a G note. Okay, so you got a D note, that's your 5. You got your 1. So that's a 51 double stop. This is a great place to start out a bunch of breaks. For instance, if we were going to play I'll Fly Away, this is moving from a 51 to a 35. So you got 7 and 5 on the G and the D, and you got the 9th fret of the D with your ring finger, and your 5th fret of the A with your first finger. That's a 35, so you're moving from a 51 to a 35. All right, so we're thinking about this in terms of shapes, okay? So we've got our 51 shape here, middle finger on the top string, first finger on the next string down. It's a 5 and a 1, all right? So any key you go to, say if you want to go to the key of F, all right, that's still going to be your first finger on the F note. There's going to be 1 fret in between, and then your middle finger is going to be on the string above. That's still going to be a 51 double stop, all right? And the way that you get from this shape to this shape is still the same. Say if you're in B flat, that's your 51, 5 on the bottom, and the 1 there, and then the 1, 2, 3, that's your 3, 3, 4, 5, walking up there to the first fret of the E string. So 5th fret of the A, the first fret of the E, that's a 35. So it's all the same shape. Back to G. Okay, so a good little general double stop lick is going to sound like this. This is going from a 51 on the bottom with your jump off, your pickup notes. That's and a 4 and we got 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. All right, so this is coming from your 35 double stop, 9 and 5 on the D and A strings. So you got 1 E and a 2 E, and you're walking down to your 1 there. 9, 7, 5, 1 E and a 2. So those are going to be double stops. You're playing 4 strings, 1 E and a 2. When you get to the second beat there, you're just going to be on the D string. 2 E and a. All right, so you're walking down 9, 7, 5, and then 9 on the G string, back down to your 51. We're going to play your both sets of strings, both courses. Practice. But before we do, please like and subscribe. Go ahead and hit that little bell there for the notifications, and you'll get all the good stuff from Noya Mountain Music. Thank you. And please consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/Noya Mountain Music. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E and 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. And the cool thing about this shape is that you can take it to your 4 chord. So if you're in the key of G, 4 chord is C. All right. So if you're going to set that up, You find your 1, which is the C note with your first finger, 3rd fret of the A. The 5 is below it, kind of same spacing, not kind of exactly the same spacing, 1 fret in between. So you got 3 and 5. You move it up 2 frets for D. And then come back to your 1 chord in G. Start over in your 1 chord. So it's the 1, 4, 5 little double stop progression, or 1, 4, 5, 1. All right, that's a good little way that you can learn to do your 51 to 35 transition. And so many songs start off like this, you know, head over heels. What about I'll Fly Away? Let's check out some of those double stops. All right, so you got and a 4 and some glad morning when this life is over. That's a little tricky mood there because you're gonna go. That's when this life is over. So you start in your 35, you can come down to, this would be like 24, or you can just use your middle finger. Back to your 35, and you're gonna take a quick little peek at this double stop, which is a 13 in C. Why is it 13? Because the root is your ring finger on the C note, 10th fret of the D, and your first finger is on the 7th fret of the A. So that's referencing the C chord, so you're doing the numbers from the C chord. All right, C is a 1, and then the first finger on the 7th fret of the A is a 3. So a quick little peek of that, then back to the 35, then you're 24. Now here's what I wanted to share with you here. When you get into the 4 chord, I'll fly away. Making this transition from 35 down to the 51 in C is a real common move that you want to get very comfortable with. So the fingering, you know, is going to change a little bit. So you're going to slide into your 5th fret of the D, 3rd fret of the A. You can also do that with your ring finger and middle finger. Both of them work. It's good to be able to do both of them and see what works best for you. That's the I'll fly. So this is a 51 in C. All right, here's your C chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And note in the C scale is G. That's your 5. And your 1 on top. So the melody's on the bottom, harmony's on top. I'll fly. So to be able to go from your 51 in C down to your 31 in C, 2nd fret of the D, 3rd fret of the A. That's a 31 in C. I'll fly. All right, so going 51, 31, 51, and then back to your 51 in G. That little move right there is a really good one to get comfortable with. You're just basically starting over from there. Which is going from 9 and 5 to 7 and 3 and down to your bottom of your 3-finger G chord, 5 and 2 on the DNA strings, which is a 1 note and a 3 note. That's a 13. That's a really good one. I'll fly away. You could think about this as a 5 and a flat 7, like a 50 flat 7 in the D chord, because that's what chord you're playing there. I'll fly. That's the D chord there. That's the double stop you're making over the D chord. So if you think about it as a 57, that works just fine. If you want to think about it as a 24 as it relates to G, that's totally fine too, because you're going from 35. This could be a little bit complicated, but I'm just, telling you all about it. Could be a 24 if you're thinking about it in G, but if you're thinking about the chord you're playing, it could be like a 50 flat 7, and then down to the bottom of your G chord. What I really want to transmit here is this lick right here. That's a good one. here, that's going to be a 3 and a 1. That's a 31. That's the same as this, the 2-finger G, just low on the G and the D strings. All right, and getting to where you can walk these up. That's a really good practice too. So you can think about what notes are in the scale and just walk them up together in harmony. So if you're on the 4th fret of the G, the next note in the G scale is the 5th fret. If you're on the 5th fret of the D, the next note in the G scale is the 7th fret. And you can walk that up too. So those notes are right there. Those are 3 notes in the G scale in harmony. That's just walking up from your 31. 3 and a 1, to 4 and a 2, and a 3 and a, let's see, that's a 5 and a 3. That's going from 31 to a 53, walking it up. A lot of times those are like the first double stops you learn. All over the place. It's kind of like a little double stops sampler package tutorial. All right, neighbors, so I hope that helps a little bit with your double stops comprehension. And just remember, you can take these shapes all over the place, wherever you have your first finger pointed on the 1. You know, that's the 1, 5, 1, 3, 5. All right. And if you'd like to support the channel and the work that's happened here, please like the video and subscribe, and consider becoming a Noya Mountain Music Patreon supporter at patreon.com/Noya Mountain Music. Appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one. Adios.